Hi everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday, and for those of you that are new, this is a channel where we talk about some of the new releases, reissues, and represses that came out today, Friday, on vinyl. And we start every week with our pick of the week, or sometimes picks of the week. There's a list down below that's running in fairly alphabetical order. And you will find there's extras on there that we're not going to talk about or touch on right now, because there's, I think, something like, God, I think there was like 85 new releases this week alone. And so there's a lot of stuff, and we will be here all night, and we don't want to do that up and through. We want to all start our weekend. So let me just tell you about some of the cool stuff that's here. I always start with the pick of the week. I've got two for you this week because the first one, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this, and it's finally here, and that is Boy Genius, the record. And this comes to us through on the Interscope label. Now, this is a debut full-length album from the indie rock super trio. Boy Genius consists of course, Phoebe Bridgers, Julian Baker, and Lucy Dacus. And each of these, the three musicians, have had brilliant solo careers on their own. So, you know, you could fear that a joint project would almost really be weighing under heavy expectations, but Baker, Bridges, and Dacus have already proven their project's worth on the 2018 EP. With the record, with the Boy Genius, they can present their first here full-length album, which is once again emphasizes their unpretentious and raw approach to music. These are three talents characterized by an authenticity and empathy that you rarely see in young musicians today. So, and on their shared project, they managed to push their songwriting into new areas and towards new heights. The LP is pressed on clear colored vinyl, and features a gatefold packaging here. So it's here for you now, and I know a lot, like I said, everybody's excited for it. You probably have maybe even heard the single. If you listen to Sirius XM, anyway, it's here. Come on and get it. And my second one, just because I love them. This is the New Pornographers and Continue as a Guest, and this comes to you through the Merge label. Now, over the past 20 years, the New Pornographers have proven themselves to be one of the most excellent indie bands in indie rock, and they've constantly offered new sonic surprises with every album. And they continue as a guest here is their greatest leap to date. Their ninth album and the first for Merge, so it establishes them alongside modern luminaries like Yola Tango and Superchunk when it comes to their ability to evolve while still retaining what made them so special in the first place. And it's a dazzling and intriguing collection of songs that are truly built to last. And they Continue as a Guest finds bandleader A.C. Newman along with his regulars, round up the usual suspects. We got Nico Case on here, Catherine Calder, John Collins, Todd Fancy, and Joe Saders. They explore fresh new territory this time around. They're shattering the barriers of their collective comfort zone. And yes, you should own this. And it is in what they're calling blue, limited edition green and blue vinyl. And that tells you on the sticker, yes, we like that. So those are my picks for you this week. And now we're going to get through this box of reissues and represses and of course, some of the new stuff. So let's get to it. This one is A Certain Ratio, 1982. It's on the Mute label, and the record embraces elements of Afro beats and funk and techno, and it lends its name to a significant year for the band. In 1982, the year they released Sextet, and I'd Like to See You Again on Factory Records. And in true ACR style, the album is filled with collaboration, launching with the second track of the album, Waiting on a Train, which features fellow Manchester artist Chunky and MC Super Collective Level Z. So A Certain Ratio was one of the first groups to sign to the Factory Records label in Manchester. And while a lot of people kind of credit New Order and the Happy Mondays with that Manchester sound and the scene and everything, these guys were the OGs. They were original. And this is on smoked clear vinyl. It's a limited edition of 2000, and there you go. Okay, next up, This is Alton Goon, and this is called Ask, and this comes to us through ATO Records, one of my favorite labels, you might know. Anyway, with Ask, this Amsterdam-based sextet, Alton Goon, they mark an exuberant return to the 70s Anatolian folk rock sound that characterized their first two albums on in 2018. And Gece, I don't know if I say that right, Gece, Gek or Gece, well, anyway, from 2019, all right? And it also is the closest the band have come to capturing the infectious energy of their live performances. And so they took a very traditional approach to recording a rock album like in the 70s. This is what they're saying in the blurb, that the band is using vintage recording equipment to give the set a warm, welcoming sound. So you can get this on black or red vinyl, and that is indicated to you on the stickers here, okay? So everybody's playing ball so far. We like that. Next up, this is the Beths. And this is Auckland, New Zealand, 2020, Orchid. So this is on Car Park Records. Now the Beths begins with crowd screeches and all this kind of stuff. It's a collective exhalation, like in one of the few countries where live music was, possible earlier than everyone else. So the album title and the film by the same name they deliberately include the date and the location. And in a mid-pandemic world, playing to this, really enraptured, rowdy home crowd was just absolute jubilation for them. So after they had finished recording their sophomore album, Jump Rope Gazers, and were primed for more extensive touring, of course, COVID hit. And like I said, New Zealand and Australia, they kind of locked everything down pretty quick, so they were able to get out and do some live shows much sooner than, it was happening for the rest of the world. So anyway, returning to the DIY mentality of their early days, like to connect with the audience, that's why they did the film, so it could be more like, on a global level. But it just it shows you that urge to share how rare the live experience was, and thank goodness it's more widely possible now. So here you go, and I'm trying to see, this is also on orchid colored vinyl. So yeah, I'm sorry, I think when I was reading off the title, I read the word orchid, and that was referred to the color of the vinyl, not part of the title, sorry. Okay. This is a 7-inch from Andrew Bird, I Felt a Funeral in My Brain. It features Phoebe Bridgers on this, and it's through Loma Vista. So I Felt a Funeral in My Brain. It's a rare duet. Andrew Bird's deep discography. He and Phoebe Bridgers join forces and share a hauntingly reimagination of the Emily Dickinson poem by the same name. So it's a sparse arrangement. It pairs chilling shrieks and strings and a slight strum of a guitar as they trade verses and, harmonize together on this over Emily Dickinson's word. It's paired with a B-side rarity, The Twistable Turnable Man Returns, and that is Bird's tribute to Shel Silverstein. It's on a 7-inch at 33 1/3 RPMs. Okay, then we have David Bowie, Moon Age Daydream. This is a Brett Morgan film. So this is 3 LPs through Rhino Parlophone. The album is a companion to the critically acclaimed film by Brett Morgan. Features unheard versions, live tracks, mixes created exclusively for the film on vinyl, and it illuminates the life and the genius of David Bowie. One of the most prolific and influential artists of our time, but it's told through sublime, kaleidoscopic, never before seen footage, performances and music, but they also use a lot of David Bowie voiceover to run you through the film. But anyway, this is a lot of music here, and wow, 3 LPs. So Bowie cannot be explained, but he can be experienced, says Brett Morgan. That's for you here now. All right, and then we are off to, this is Alan Brax, the Uppercuts 2023 edition. This is on the Smuggler's Way label. If you want to understand how French producer Alan Brax ended up making some of the most important house music records, of the late 1990s and early 2000s, you need to understand, like, his modus operandi was everything has to be simple and everything has to be sincere. So you hear this time and again in his music, from the golden emotional minimalism of Stardust's Music Sounds Better With You, a worldwide hit that he produced with Daft Punk's Thomas Bangalter and singer Benjamin Diamond, to perfectly uncluttered house like Strut of Intro, his underground anthem with Fred Falk. So the Uppercuts, originally released in 2005. It's a compilation that rounded up several of his greatest hits. The music is simple. It's the drums are simple, the production is simple, and the construction is basic. And if you respect that, then your music can be pretty timeless, and that's just what this is. So available now. The next up is Apollo Brown. This Must Be the Place. This is on Mellow Music Group label. Detroit producer Apollo Brown. This is his follow-up to the legendary Clouds album. Hip-hop romantic is kind of what you would call this guy. This is the indie exclusive on Purple Smoke vinyl, and it does let you know that up on the label there too. Okay, then we have Cave Town. This is called Animal Kingdom, and this is through Cave Music Limited. So the son of a professional flautist and Cambridge University's director of music, Robin Skinner, who's performed under the name Cave Town since 2013, has musical talent literally embedded in his DNA. At age 14, he started posting original songs and covers on YouTube alongside daily musings and behind-the-scene vignettes. This Animal Kingdom LP features 5 Cave Town songs and tracks from artists like Chloe Moriando, Sidney Gish, and Spooky Ghost Boy. So this is on what they're calling glass-colored vinyl with a sticker sheet inside of here too. And it's limited to 3,000. Here it just says glass, but what that means is glass-colored vinyl. It's very kind of crystal clear. This is another Cave Town. This is Sleepyhead. This one is on Warner Records, and it was the Sire debut. And this is coming to you on purple vinyl, and that does tell you that as well. And if that weren't enough, there is also Cave Town Worm Food on Sire. This is the 5th studio album from the UK singer-songwriter. It was his first major release since 2021's EP, Man's Best Friend. And it does feature Chloe Moriando and Vic Fuentes from Pierce the Veil, and Bee Baba Doobie is on here as well. So this is the indie exclusive with alternate artwork, and it's on Evergreen Galaxy vinyl, and it does tell you that in the sticker. See, like I said, I just love when everyone plays ball. It's so awesome. Okay, next up is, this is Eddie Chasson. I hope I'm saying that name right. This is called Sundown. It's on the Stone's Throw record label. It's a new album from this low-key R&B legend, singer and songwriter Eddie Cachone. Across the album's 8 tracks, he's collaborated with his producer and label mate, John Carroll Kirby. So Sundown follows the singles Holy Hell, Comes and Goes, and Step by Step. And that's just plain up, straight up black vinyl for you. Okay, next up, this is City and Color, who we haven't heard from in a while. And The Love Still Held Me Near. This is a double LP. It's on Still Records. So Dallas Green is a guy behind City and Color. And the quote from him about this is, "The Love Still Held Me Near was born out of an unimaginable loss and the subsequent journey through the grief and heartache that followed. It's about digging deep down into yourself and attempting to unearth hope and light in the things that you can comfort, or things that can comfort you through those times." So for me, that's always been what writing and recording music has done. So that's actually what I did. So here he is pouring his heart out. And this one, again, looks to me to be on black vinyl. I like City and Color. I don't know a whole lot of this guy's music, but the few things that I have heard, I actually really do like. All right. Next, we have Filter. This is the Amalgamate, and it's on Craft Recordings. And this is Filter's 3rd studio album, The Amalgamate, and it's available for the first time on vinyl in celebration of the title's 20th anniversary. So following the success of the band's platinum-selling 1999 release, title of record. 2002's The Amalgamate spawned fan favorites, Where Do We Go From Here and American Cliche. So this is a 2 LP set in a gatefold jacket with printed inner sleeves. Okay, then we have Fit for an Autopsy. This is The Sea of Tragic Beasts, and this is on Nuclear Blast America. A new pressing of the landmark Fit for an Autopsy record, The Sea of Tragic Beasts. It's on yellow, mint, and orange splatter, and it is limited to 1,200 copies worldwide. All right, this is A Flock of Seagulls. I Ran So Far Away. This comes to us through Cleopatra, and it's a new vinyl collection of recut classics from the 80s, new wave icons, A Flock of Seagulls. It includes the band's signature hit, I Ran So Far Away, plus the ever memorable Telecommunication, Space Age Love Song, Wishing If I Had a Photograph of You. So this is on limited edition purple with black splatter. It looks like that. And it's this kind of slick designed gatefold jacket, features bonus remixes by the KVB, Die Krups, and Gunter Schultz of KMFDM. So again, it's kind of like a greatest hits, but it's all kind of re-recordings. So remember that it's not going to be the originals. All right, next, this is Fu Manchu. And this is called Fu 30, Part 3 at the Dojo Records. And it's a 10-inch on purple vinyl, and yeah, these guys, they are a great stoner rock band, and they are in the vein of Monster Magnet, and they've been kicking around for a long time, and they're awesome. So gotta bring that in. Okay, this is Damien Jurado. Sometimes You Hurt the Ones You Hate, and this is on Maricopa Records. Sometimes You Hurt the Ones You Hate is a gorgeous and richly diverse and compact album, and it's his third full length on the label Maricopa, and it's 8 tracks. They're heavy with emotion and feature a wide spectrum of Jurado's continuously developing talents as a songwriter. I saw Damien Jurado open one time for Ben Gibbard, and you know, he's an intense guy, and he's just got that look about him that is I don't know what else he could have done, because the way that he looks, I thought if he ever came out and sang a happy song, you would just, you know, it would be like he was doing shtick or something. So he's found his niche. He's great. Okay, so I guess we should dedicate this one to our friend Mike, who does Mike's Got the Spins on YouTube. If you haven't checked out his channel, you should. But look, there's another issue of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard Laminated Denim. This is on the KGLW label. It's the 22nd album by the Australian psychedelic rock band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. It was originally released in October of 2022, 5 days after their previous album, Ice, Death, Planets, Lungs, Mushrooms, and Lava. So this title is an anagram of the title of the band's 19th album, which was Made in Timeland, whose digital release coincided with the release of Laminated Denim. Did you all get that? It's a lot. I know. It's a mouthful. So this features 2 15-minute songs written around the ticking of a clock. And it features more rock-focused instrumentals with heavy use of polyrhythms and motoric beat. Now, what in the hell is motoric beat? That is the 4/4 beat, often used by and heavily associated with krautrock bands. It's coined by music journalists. The term is German for motor skill. So the motoric beat was pioneered by Jackie Leibzeit, the drummer with the German experimental rock band Can. So it's psychedelic and progressive rock, sounds different from the electronic-based Timeland, you know, because they're always switching it up, these guys. So this is on very bright neon yellow colored vinyl, and that's here for you now. Okay, moving on, we have Adam Lambert, High Drama. This is through BMG Rights Management. So this guy was, of course, renowned for reimagining songs for American Idol, and to his viral hit with Cher's Believe. And Adam Lambert, he's Grammy-nominated pop icon, LGBTQ trailblazer, and the Queen frontman. He brings you High Drama. It's a diverse collection of covers that he's done with a twist by Adam's once-in-a-generation voice and his trademark flair. So if you're digging Adam Lambert, this is an interesting record. Okay, Next we have Last in Line. This is Jericho through Ear Music. Frontman Andrew Freeman and bassist Phil Susan, they're ex-Ozzy Osbourne guys, and former Dio comrades in arms Vivian Campbell from Def Leppard and Vinny Appice, ex-Black Sabbath. They released their third studio album here. And I don't really like the artwork here. I think that's kind of poorly done, but hey, what are you going to do? Anyway, it's a gatefold sort of sleeve, it looks. No, it's not. It's just a thick sleeve because it is a double. So anyway, hard rock from those guys. Then we have a reissue, Mac Miller, Blue Slide Park. This is on the Rostrum Records. Now, this is the 10th anniversary deluxe vinyl pressing of this, Mac Miller's debut studio album from what year was this? 10th anniversary. So, okay. No, don't even ask me to do the math. I'm thinking something like 2013, something like that. I don't know. So it features a die-cut gatefold jacket. You can kind of see that in the camera, the die cuts here, right? And 2 LPs, clear vinyl with blue and yellow splatter. And a recreation of 2011's Blue Slide Park US tour poster. So see, I'm sure my math is off. I don't know what in the hell I'm talking about, but it's the 10th anniversary, so there we go. All right, this is Melanie Martinez, and this is called Portals, and it comes to us through Atlantic. Now, the third studio album from the American singer-songwriter Melanie Martinez. Portals marks the 27-year-old New York City-born singer, songwriter, filmmaker's first full-length release in nearly 4 years, since following her 2 billion streaming RIAA Gold certified second album that was K-12. Portals, this is how she describes it. She said, Portals screams, death is life is death is life is death is life. So it's a continuous loop, a circle. Melanie, that was, a quote from Melanie Martinez. So this is on limited edition, what they're calling bloodshot translucent vinyl or CD. We've got the CD on her too. Anyway, it's really kind of artfully done. The label on the inside that it's on the record, it's like a butterfly, and Melanie is like the body of the butterfly. It's kind of cool. And then this bloodshot, it's sort of a real dreamy looking, kind of rosy red and clear and white sort of a thing. So anyway, it's a good looking record as well. And the triumphant return of Melanie Martinez. This is Bear McCreary, God of War. It's the original soundtrack. This is on Music on Vinyl. The multiple award-winning action-adventure game God of War was first created in 2005, but became such an instant hit that Santa Monica Studio created 7 more versions of it, of the same game. The most recent one, released in 2018 for PlayStation 4, it focuses on the main character's journey in the Greek world together with his son, following a path of vengeance as a result of being tricked into killing his family by Olympian gods. Okay, God of War received universal acclaim for its story, design, graphics, combat system, characters, and music. So it was awarded Game of the Year by numerous media outlets and award shows, including in here is an insert and a poster. Okay, then we have Heavyweights, Meshuggah, and this is Obzen on the Atomic Fire label. Now, they formed in 1987 in Umeå, Sweden. Meshuggah have gone on to be called one of the most important hard and heavy bands by Rolling Stone and have earned respect and admiration from fans and musicians alike. It's impossible to talk about experimental or avant-garde metal without mentioning this truly groundbreaking act. So Meshuggah mix ultra-complicated rhythmic patterns with massive riffs and aggressive growling, combining death metal, mathcore, thrash, progressive metal to create, their very unique style. So Obzen is like a sort of a reworked, and that originally came out, I want to say, in 2008 when it was originally released. So this re-release of this comes in high-def audio, beautifully enhanced, stunning new vinyl colors. What we have is There's 1,000 copies of this one. It's black and white. It's the 15th anniversary edition, and there's also that one. Okay, 1,000 copies of that one, but there's only 1,500 copies of white, black, and blue marbled. And all this information is up there on the sticker. So yes, a reworked version of Meshuggah Obzen. Okay, this is a reissue. I was happy to see this one, actually. This is Midlake, Antiphon, and it comes to us through ATO Records. Now, this was the 4th album from Midlake. It was released in 2013, and it marked a return to brighter, more breezy, melodic territory. I love this record. It's really, really good. It's long out of print on vinyl. This new 2023 edition is pressed as a red, yellow, and green splatter, and it's housed in a gatefold jacket. So anyway, just wanted to throw that in there because I'm very happy to see the reissue of that. Next up is Molina, Talbot, and Lofgren, All Roads Lead Home, on the NYA label. All Roads Lead Home, it's an album born out of pure inspiration as well as social necessity. So Molina, Talbot, and Lofgren, who you may know, are Neil Young's band Crazy Horse. And they kept recording their original songs, each with other musicians in various locations during the pandemic years. And they were forced to change from working as a trio with Neil Young and use that opportunity to see what their new individual configurations would lead to. And of course, they led home. The 3 Crazy Horse members each recorded 3 songs apart and with different musicians. And by challenging themselves to see what they could do, they all arrived at a wondrous consensus of unforgettable music. So Crazy Horse has never made an album like this before. Neil Young also includes a song of the Seasons on here and a live solo version of the song from the album Barn with Crazy Horse as a sign of solidarity with the band that he's shared the stage and studio with since 1969. So interesting. Okay. All right, here we go. This is Nickelback, Get Rollin', BMG Rights Management. It's the 10th studio album by rock band Nickelback and their first in 5 years. This version of Get Rollin' is a transparent orange vinyl, and that tells you that on the sticker. Okay. This is Pink Sweats. It's called Pink Moon Through Atlantic. It's an epic testament to the West Philadelphia-born singer-songwriter's stunning sonic abilities and a gift for heartwarming songcraft. The album showcases an array of diverse tracks. He says, in the time I used to create Pink Moon, I wanted to stretch my definition of love as far as I could and let my music present the consistently evolving definition of what love means to me. So I think this originally came out in 2022, I want to say, so that's a reissue. Next up, we have Pucifer, Existential Reckoning, Rewired through BMG Rights. And Pucifer will always be known as one of the many creative outlets for Tool, A Perfect Circle vocalist Maynard James Keenan, and as an avenue for the most obscure depths of his musical creativity. So this reimagining, it provides a highly experimental concoction of songs by an impressive and high-class motley crew of remixers and sound distorters, with the songs all threaded together by a soothing and often angelic-sounding voice of Keenan. Throughout much of the record, there is a downbeat and an almost lazy kind of vibe. It's highlighted first on the opener Bread and Circus, with Pucifer's own Matt Mitchell providing an 80s style synth-heavy sound to that one. So this is an indie exclusive on Clear and White Smoke. It tells you that there, and we also did bring this one in on CD too. All right, then we have, this is Isaiah Rashad, The House is Burning. This is through Warner Records, the 3rd studio album by American rapper Isaiah Rashad. It's additional guest appearances by SZA, Six Lack, J-Rock, Smino, and more. All right, then we have Raven, All for One. This is on Culture Factory, so it's the 40th anniversary edition, 1983 to 2023, one-time pressing of a special double split black and blood red vinyl that looks like this. All for One, 1983, 3rd studio album, Raven's last golden age release, which is known as their best. So this vinyl has been out of print until now. So Udo Dirkschneider, the singer of Accept, appears on a couple of tracks. Deluxe packaging includes the obi strip and single jacket with one pocket printed in her sleeve, and the double split black and blood red colored vinyl with original record labels. All right, then this is cool. This is the Rolling Stones Aftermath US, and this is through ABCO. Now, the 1966 album represented a milestone for the Rolling Stones, as it was the first to consist solely of Jagger and Richard original songs. So the US version was fleshed out with the single Paint It Black, and an eerily insistent number one, graced by some of the best ever use of sitar that was played by Brian Jones. Aftermath is also strongly features the Baroque charm of Lady Jane. It's on 180 gram vinyl, and that's a nice one. This is Snap, World Power, BMG Rights Management. This picture disc, World Power, was the legendary debut album from the Eurodance duo Snap. We're going to ignore the phone because we're not open yet. Anyway, this has sold millions of copies worldwide. The album was originally released in 1990, and it features some of their biggest hits. The Power, of course, was top 3 singles charts in Germany, US, and UK. That was featured in movies like Coyote Ugly, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, and Bruce Almighty, so you might remember it from that. It was released for the first time as a limited 12-inch picture disc with original artwork and track listing. All right, this is Solence, Hope is a Cult. This is through Hopeless Records. So they sonically conjoin elements of metal, electronic, alternative, and pop. And this is a Swedish group, and they also appeal to an expansive swath of personalities with a universal message equally suitable for the mosh pit or Coachella. So the band rally around a familial energy meant to be shared as loudly as possible, and you'll find this on electric blue vinyl, and it tells you that right there on the sticker. Okay, so now we have a whole glut of Britney Spears reissues, and I'm just going to kind of bring them all out. Okay, first up, this is Baby One More Time. These are all through Legacy Recordings that they're coming out on, okay? So this was the number one debut album. They're all on black vinyl, featuring the hits Baby One More Time, Sometimes, and You Drive Me Crazy. All right, so the next is Britney. This is her third studio album, features the hits I'm a Slave for You, Overprotected, and I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. Then we have Greatest Hits, My Prerogative. This is a double LP, and it's her first Greatest Hits album on black vinyl, of course. The album includes 3 new tracks, a cover of Bobby Brown's My Prerogative, Do Something, and I've Just Begun Having My Fun. Then we have In the Zone, her fourth studio album. Features the hits Toxic, Every Time, and Me Against the Music, that features Madonna. Then we have Oops, I Did It Again, her second studio album, one of the best-selling albums of all time, featuring the hits Oops, I Did It Again, Lucky, and Stronger. Now, I think 7 reissues actually came out, and we are missing Femme Fatale and Britney Jean. They're also re-released, but I think they're probably going to come trickling in next week. That's my guess anyway. All right. This is the Specials, Ghost Town. Gosh, as if we need another reissue of the Ghost Town single. But okay, this is on Cleopatra, and it's a limited edition on black and white splatter that looks like this. So, okay. Great song, but how many hundreds of times has that been released? Steel Pulse, True Democracy on the Law Records label. So this was their Elektra debut album. True Democracy ranks as one of their strongest, and Earth Crisis further built on their legacy as musical innovators and human rights and advocates, and often fusing elements of jazz, dancehall, and hip-hop, the Latin music into a roots reggae bass. Steel Pulse forever remain icons in the genre. All right. Then we have Surf Curse. This one is Nothing Yet. It's the indie rock recording project of Los Angeles-based songwriters Nick Radigan and Jacob Rubeck. So seeing Surf Curse live has become a rite of passage with disaffected adolescents in the Southwest, while Radigan and Rubeck have spent their formative years between Las Vegas, Reno, and Los Angeles. Nothing Yet is the second full-length from the band. It was released in 2017. It features exclusive tracks, including Abbey Road live versions. So there's, I think, another 2 Surf Curse albums also. They're probably going to be down on the list, but this is the only one I had to hand in order to get to show you this morning. Okay, next up, this is Tink. It's called Pillow Talk. This is, the label is Winter's Diary, and you never have to guess what Tink is thinking. The Chicago-born songstress and rapper says it all in her music, and she spits, speaks, and sings straight from the heart without filter or apology. And at the same time, she breaks boundaries, dropping off bars with uncontainable charisma and belting out hooks with show-stopping range. So she can be romantic in one crescendo before getting raw in a bout of wild wordplay like on the next. So this is on what they're calling purple and white Galaxy vinyl, and it is a limited edition of 1,000, and that information is up here on the sticker for you. Okay, a couple more reissues. This is Tomahawk. It's called Oddfellows, and this is on Ipecac Recordings. Now, this is the band's fourth, is this? Yeah, their fourth album. It's been out of print since its initial release in 2013. It's finally back in print on indie exclusive purple vinyl, and it tells you up there that it's purple vinyl. And in addition to that, we have the Tomahawk self-titled is out too. This is the debut studio album by this American experimental rock band. Okay, they recorded after a meeting between Mike Patton and guitarist Dwayne Dennison. So the album features members of Faith No More, the Jesus Lizard, Helmet, and the Melvins. And the band toured with Tool in support of the record. And you can get this on black or the indie exclusive, which is on brown vinyl. And that is mentioned to you here, black vinyl, and then this one, the indie exclusive brown vinyl. Okay? All right. Next up, this is The Who. The Who with an orchestra live at Wembley. This comes to us through Geffen Records. And on the 6th of July in 2019, The Who headlined a sellout show of the world-famous Wembley Stadium in London for the first time in 40 years. Performing many of their greatest hits, the show featured the band as they've never been seen before, accompanied by a 57-piece Isabel Griffiths Limited Orchestra. So The Who with Orchestra, live at Wembley. It relives that iconic show. The 3 LP set features a booklet with unseen photos from the show. It's on black vinyl. Okay, this is a cool little box set. It's various artists. It's The Birth of Bop, the Savoy collection. So it's 5/10 inches. And it's on Craft Recordings. Now, The Birth of Bop, it's a new collection celebrating the enduring legacy of Savoy Records Bop catalog that spans from 1944 to 1949. And it's presented in both 5/10-inch vinyl and double CD formats with audio restoration by Joe Tarantino and new liner notes by Grammy-winning writer and broadcaster Neil Tesser. So the set includes 30 tracks from such jazz legends as Charlie Parker, Dexter Gordon, Stan Getz, Milt Jackson, Alan Eager, Eddie Lockjaw Davis, and others. Okay? Very nice. Okay. Then we have Frank Zappa, Zappa 80, Mud Club, and this is on 45 RPM. But it's 2 LPs, okay? So it's on Zappa Records. Now, during the spring and summer tour of 1980, Frank Zappa played a set at his favorite New York City nightclub, the famous Mud Club. So Zappa adored the place and even wrote a song dedicated to it. The complete performance is included on 2 45 RPM 180-gram audiophile vinyl LPs and mastered by Bernie Grundman, who we've spoken about before. He's like the kingpin of remastering. A package features photography and a memoir from George Alper, who worked for Frank Zappa and was at the event, along with liner notes from Arthur Barrow, Steve Vai, and vaultmeister Joe Travers. All right. And then we also have Zappa 80. This is Munich, and this one is 3 LPs, also on Zappa Records. Now, this historic 1980 Munich concert has the distinction of being the first ever live direct-to-digital stereo recording of Zappa. The show was the last of the spring-summer tour when the group playing at peak performance. The entire show is featured on 3 180-gram LPs and mastered by Bernie Grundman in 2022. So the package features photography and a memoir from George Alper, who worked for Zappa, along with liner notes from Arthur Barrow and Joe Travers. Okay, then we have The Zombies, different game. This is through Cooking Vinyl. Now, 2023 release from the veteran psych popsters. Different Game is the follow-up to their 2015 studio release, Still Got That Hunger. And this album is what current-day zombies were meant to make. It has the vintage qualities that make them stand out and reflects the sound from the 60s, yet it still sounds modern. And it also shows their continued development as songwriters and musicians. So 9 of the 10 tracks written by Rod Argent, with the closer, The Sun Will Rise Again, by Colin Blunstone. So Rod Argent produced the album, which includes a small string ensemble on 3 tracks. The band began working on this album in 2019, but shortly after the Rock and Roll and Hall of Fame induction, but it was delayed by the pandemic because they strongly prefer to record together as in a live band performance in the studio, just so they had to do it like the same way they did it in the 60s. So they were not willing to make the album remotely away from each other, so that's why it took so long to come out. And it's on exclusive cyan colored vinyl. If you don't know what in the hell cyan means, that means it's like a mixture of blue and green. I don't think that this blue is really accurately showing you what that vinyl would look like. Cyan is a little more of a mix of the blue and green together. Okay, kids, that's the wrap for this. Now, just inspect the list down below and you'll see the other titles that we weren't able to cover just now here, but we are reaching the 42-minute mark, and I know we hate it when it runs this long. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great weekend. You all take care of yourselves, and I will see you next week.